We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. Governor Wes Moore will deliver his State of the State address today. Coming up, a look at what we can expect him to say. A split verdict in Marilyn Mosby's second federal trial. We'll look at what it means for the former Baltimore City State's attorney when it comes to her sentencing. And a new report finds the Boeing jet that lost its door plug mid-flight never had the bolts installed before it left the factory. The new promise from Boeing as it tries to restore trust. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. Happening today at noon, Governor Wes Moore will give his State of the State address. It has been just a little more than a year since he took office. During his address, the governor is expected to detail his administration's progress over the past year. Now, again, the address is set for noon. We will stream that for you on our website, foxbaltimore.com. We'll also have the GOP response from Senate Minority Leader Steve Hershey that follows.
Ms. Mosby, what's your comment to the people of Baltimore?
No comment. No comment.
A jury returns a split verdict in former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby's mortgage fraud trial. Now the city's former top prosecutor awaits her sentencing for this verdict and for the 2 counts of perjury that a different jury found her guilty of last year. Now, in this most recent trial, the jury found Marilyn Mosby not guilty of lying on the mortgage application for her home in Kissimmee, Florida, but decided she did lie to mortgage lenders when she bought her condo in Longboat Key. The jury pointed to a gift letter Marilyn Mosby signed indicating that her former husband, City Council President Nick Mosby, was giving her $5,000 to close on that condo. Prosecutors showed that the money came from Marilyn herself and not Nick. Marilyn Mosby has now been convicted of 3 of the 4 federal charges brought against her. She will be sentenced for both cases in the coming weeks. Shannon Lilly brings us a closer look at the punishment that Mosby could face.
Well, with these 3 convictions, Mosby could face decades behind bars, but likely that won't be the case. All of this, though, is still up in the air as a sentencing hearing has yet to be set on the calendar. But in the meantime, we want to take a look at the maximum penalties she could face, and they vary for each of these convictions. For perjury, she faces up to 5 years in prison for each charge. For this mortgage fraud conviction, the maximum is 30 years in prison. But legal experts we spoke to say the maximum penalty is not likely for any of these charges. They tell us the prosecution and defense will likely approach sentencing very differently.
But ultimately, the defense team is going to argue that these are the same transactions or similar transactions, and so the sentencing guidelines should be reduced. And the federal prosecutors are going to argue that they should be increased because they are separate incidents, separate transactions, and they should all be on top of one another. And so ultimately, the judge is going to decide how those sentencing guidelines are applied. I would suspect that we land somewhere between 18 and 24 months.
Now, Marilyn Mosby and her team say they plan to appeal the perjury convictions, but nothing has been filed yet. And as of now, it's not clear how they plan to move forward following this latest conviction. Reporting this morning, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 News, Midday.
Legal experts also say that Nick Mosby opened himself up for potential legal trouble while testifying in this case. While the city council president was on the stand, prosecutors claimed that he repeatedly committed perjury on his taxes. That includes the accusation Mr. Mosby claimed to have donated more than $20,000 to charity. When the investigation into the Mosbys first launched, federal investigators were looking into the couple's charitable donations, but tax fraud charges were never brought. Experts say while it is not clear what will happen to Nick Mosby legally, the case could impact his reelection efforts, especially with more scrutiny on his finances as he continues to lead the city council and chair the city's spending board.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope that he's handling the city's finances and being a watchdog on the city finances better than he is in his own household. That's obvious, number one. Number two, it was fascinating to me that he testified without any sort of immunity. He certainly placed himself in significant jeopardy. Federal prosecutors certainly don't take lightly to individuals coming in and admitting to significant financial crimes on the witness stand. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Nick Mosby has not yet filed for re-election, but that filing deadline is Friday morning. Fox 45 News will continue to follow all the developments surrounding Marilyn Mosby's federal convictions and keep you updated every step of the way. You can find all of our past reporting and any updates to come on our website, foxbaltimore.com. And be sure to download the Fox 45 mobile app to be sure you don't miss any breaking developments. Happening today, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is back in Israel as the war in the Gaza Strip continues. Blinken is scheduled to meet with top Israeli leaders to discuss the efforts to implement a ceasefire in Gaza. This comes after officials in Qatar say Hamas has given a generally positive answer to the latest plan for reprieve. As early as today, the House could take up another vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. In a first vote Tuesday, Republicans fell short of the votes needed after 4 Republicans joined all Democrats in voting no. 11:06, and here's a look at today's top trending stories. Trending number 1, a new bill on the state's early release system for convicted sex offenders moves to a second reading. The parents of Baltimore City murder victim Pavel Aper are pushing for the bill. They appeared in front of the House Judiciary Committee Tuesday saying their daughter may still be here if the law was in place. Pavel was murdered last fall. Police arrested convicted sex offender Jason Billingsley. He was originally convicted in 2013 but released on good behavior credits in 2022. This new bill would make it more difficult for certain offenders to earn these credits. Trending number 2, the 18-year-old suspect who is facing more than 60 charges in connection to the Brooklyn Day mass shooting will remain in an adult facility, despite a push from defense attorneys to have him held at a juvenile facility. Tristan Jackson's charges include more than 24 counts of attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. A judge also ruled that court proceedings related to the case will remain open. Trending number 3, weekly recycling pickup is set to return next month in Baltimore. The Department of Public Works says it has expanded its workforce and upgraded its fleet of garbage trucks. Since July, DPW says it has hired dozens of drivers and solid waste workers, and city leaders are also implementing new technology that will make pickup routes more efficient. Now, this follows years of complaints over inconsistent pickup. Weekly pickup has largely been on hold since the start of the pandemic due to major staffing and equipment shortages within DPW. Trending number 4, big changes are coming for the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens promoting Zach Orr from inside linebackers coach to defensive coordinator. Orr says he'll uphold the high standards that make the Ravens one of the best defensive units in the NFL.
I want our defense to play together first and foremost, like 11 people playing as one. Let's start there. The next thing, I want to be violent, organized chaos, man. Present a lot of problems to the offense. All right, never give the answer to the offense before the snap.
Well, still ahead, if you're looking for a job, you may want to try one of these tricks. A hiring manager is sharing tips for getting your resume noticed. But first, when a 10-year-old boy couldn't hold it, he went outside, and then he got hit with a charge of urinating in public. Coming up, the new developments in the case that's gained national attention.
And we're getting ready for a warmer afternoon as temperatures reach the upper 40s and low 50s with plenty of sunshine. I'll let you know how long this dry pattern lasts and when to expect the next weather maker in my full forecast.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
11:10 and taking a look at your social stream. A new report from the NTSB shows the Boeing 737 jet that lost its door plug mid-flight was sent to the airline without the door plug secured. The 4 bolts that were supposed to hold the Boeing door plug in place were missing before it blew out. The report from the NTSB says the lack of damage to the plug where the bolts were supposed to attach to the door indicate they were never there to begin with. In a statement, Boeing takes responsibility and says it's working to ensure that it never happens again. Here's what you're saying about it. How can that happen? They must have at least 3 inspections before even going out to an airport. Come on. Another one saying, there are literally fast food workers who are more conscientious than this. It's not like forgetting the curly fries in a drive-thru order, slightly more of a big deal. Well, a new bill introduced in the Oklahoma legislature would ban Pride Month celebrations. The Patriotism Not Pride Act would prohibit state agencies from using public funds for LGBTQ events. The measure also bans displaying pride flags on state property. A lot of reaction to that. One saying, great to hear our tax-funded agencies need to do their job and not promote any agendas. Another saying this ridiculous culture war that the GOP has ignited and declared on America is going to cost them everything this year. A Mississippi child who was hit with a public urination charge gets the punishment dropped. Quantavious Eason was just 10 years old when he was arrested in a parking lot for relieving himself. The boy was initially sentenced to 3 months probation, but now the case is being dropped. Your reaction to it? He shouldn't have been arrested in the first place. Another says, now sue everyone that tried to ruin this child's life. Well, still ahead, an alarming new study reveals a large portion of people think it's okay to get high and drive. We're going to break down the numbers by age. And facing a nationwide shortage of blood, the Red Cross is offering free gifts for those who roll up their sleeves. How they're trying to entice donors. Coming up on 11:13, you're watching Fox 45 News Midday. (11:14). That's a pretty shot. We're back with a live look over the Inner Harbor. Another clear but chilly day today. A warm-up is heading our way. Coming up, we're going to check in with meteorologist Jasmine Lomax to see when the warmer temperatures arrive and then how long they'll last. Turning now to the 2024 election, presidential hopeful Nikki Haley lost Nevada's Republican primary to none of the above Tuesday night. The Associated Press declared the ballot option none of these candidates the winner in the Republican primary. Haley finished a distant second. Former President Trump did not appear on the primary ballot. Meanwhile, President Biden easily won Nevada's primary. The Democratic primary, his nearest challenger, finished in the single digits. This victory comes just days after the president also easily won the South Carolina Democratic primary. Making headlines tomorrow, Donald Trump's lawyers are set to appear at the U.S. Supreme Court for arguments over his ballot eligibility. Trump himself is not expected to attend. The Supreme Court justices are determining Trump's ballot eligibility nationwide. The case came to them after the Colorado Supreme Court threw him off that state's ballot under the 14th Amendment's ban on insurrectionists holding public office. In a case that sets new precedent, a jury finds the Michigan school shooter's mother guilty of involuntary manslaughter. The jury saying 45-year-old Jennifer Crumbley failed to stop her son from carrying out a 2021 shooting at his high school, which killed 4 students. She now faces up to 15 years in prison. Her husband stands trial next month. Their son is already spending life in prison for his crimes. A health alert this morning amid a growing nationwide blood shortage. The American Red Cross is offering an incentive to people who donate. All this month, donors are being given a $20 Amazon gift card. The organization says blood supply is critically low, partly due to dangerous winter weather events that canceled many blood drives in January. We invite you to join us for the Be More Healthy Expo this Saturday at the Baltimore Convention Center. The free event includes health screenings, cooking and dance demonstrations, and a chance to meet your favorite Fox 45 News personalities. Again, the Be More Healthy Expo runs this Saturday, February 10th from 10 a.m. through 4 p.m. Coming up later today on Fox 45 News at 4, Governor Wes Moore holds his State of the State address. We'll have a live report from Annapolis with the latest. Then at 5, Fox 45 News continues to follow the aftermath of the federal trial of former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, her ex-husband's reaction to yesterday's verdict. And at 6, as discussions continue surrounding juvenile crime bills in Annapolis, one local leader hasn't weighed in. We press Mayor Brandon Scott on his thoughts surrounding new legislation. 11:17 and time now for today's talking point. A new survey finds more than a third of Gen Z thinks it's okay to drive under the influence of marijuana. The survey from the Colorado Department of Transportation finds 37% of people ages 16 to 24 believe that they can safely drive under the influence of marijuana. 1 out of 5 Gen Z drivers also admitted to driving high within the last month.
They've got their whole lives ahead of them. The last thing they want is a DUI, and the last thing they want is to end up in jail and with $13,000 in fines and penalties.
Well, the survey also found that Gen Z is getting behind the wheel after using marijuana more than any other age group. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now. What do you think about that?
Yep. You know, those of us who had uncles who used to get high and thought they could be better basketball players, this fits right into that. Like, no, so let me get this right. So you're impaired, your reaction time is slower, and also your thinking is impaired. So why would you think you'd be a better driver or even a good driver behind the wheel? That's what they say. Your brain stops at 25 is when your brain is matured. 27 actually when your brain's matured. So maybe this fits into that.
I don't know. Maybe it's because some of these people are probably smoking regularly, so it's an all-day thing for them, and they do everything in that state.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, well, I can also drive in that state, but it is no different. Or what do you think? It's no different than when you drink.
No.
And drive.
Right.
Although they will make the distinction and say it is.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and I think it's a major problem because you're right. If it's legal, so it's tough because how do you regulate that? Are you stopping people? You know, if you're swerving, if you're that high, then obviously
no matter what you took.
Yeah, whatever it is, right?
All right, Mark. Thank you. It is time now for your wild and wonderful weather with meteorologist Jasmine Lomax.
Thanks, Patrice. This is a nice photo to see, a nice video coming from California. Of course, after the heavy rain from the atmospheric river, notice the beautiful double rainbow. Just stunning, and great news to see that some of that rain is starting to push out of Southern California. Still seeing some impacts from that system, though, and those impacts are impacting the desert Southwest. So we're talking Arizona, along with parts of New Mexico, even Nevada, dealing with some of that rain and even snow Here it's much drier and a very different story as we have plenty of sunshine over the harbor. 49 for the current temperature with light winds out of the east-northeast. We're seeing temperatures in the 40s across the state. A couple spots still in the 30s, but overall nice and sunny. And we are preparing for a slight rise in temperatures compared to yesterday. Our highs will reach the low 50s. It's followed by temperatures in the mid 50s tomorrow. And then as we finish out the work week, we're looking at 60 on Friday. We stay dry over the next 3 days, but the next weather maker does follow on Saturday. So if you plan on spending some time outside today, maybe going for a walk or run, the afternoon looks great. Not much happening around the region as we enjoy lots of sunshine. Then starting off tomorrow morning, waking up to plenty of sunshine and still keeping the blue skies by the afternoon. Another quiet day is in store tomorrow. Then on Friday, we start to see a few more clouds move in, and it's all ahead of that next weather maker. That will lead to showers on Saturday. We're not talking a washout, but if you do plan on being outside, you will want the rain gear. Most of the rain stays away from us on Sunday, but we could be waking up to a few lingering clouds. Then into the afternoon, drier across the region. However, we have another weather maker on Monday leading to rain for most. There could be a few flurries for areas a little bit farther west. So we stay dry until the weekend, and then into early next week, we have that next chance for rain. Temperatures around 51 for the afternoon, then 54 tomorrow. We'll be in the 60s on Friday, Saturday, and again on Sunday. After that, temperatures will be cooler in the 50s and 40s. Back to you.
All right, Jasmine, I like it. Still ahead, big news that could impact students' abilities to pursue higher education. We'll look at the new trend surrounding financial assistance. And ticket prices for Sunday's big game are dropping, although they are still astronomically high. Just how much fans are paying to see their teams play. 11:22 now on Fox 45 News Midday. $11:25. Don't miss this. The big game is only 4 days away, and there is some good good news if you're hoping to make it to Las Vegas. Ticket prices are going down. As of this morning, the cheapest ticket is about $7,329 on ticket site TickPick. It's still a lot of money, but it is below the $8,200 price tag last week. Well, fewer students are applying for college financial aid. The National College Attainment Network shows there's been a nearly 57% drop in the number of high school seniors who submitted a FAFSA federal aid application around the end of January compared to last year. Now, this latest data comes after the Department of Education rolled out a simplified financial form in December, but it's caused a lot of issues like tech glitches and processing delays. For the first time, more students are taking private transportation to school than public school buses. According to the Federal Highway Administration, 53% of students in this country were either driven or drove themselves to school in a private vehicle in 2022. It's time now for your lunch break. AMC Theaters is using its Fan Faves program to celebrate Black History Month. For $5, moviegoers can see a select set of films starring or created by Black artists. The promotion runs through the entire month of February. Well, that's all we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyles up next. Mark Clark back to tell us what they're working on.
Hey, Patrice, throw a couple of those Super Bowl tickets on your credit card. I'll get you back on payday, okay? Thanks.
Gotcha.
A mom is sparking debate after leaving a list of chores for her babysitter. We'll get into it coming up on Be More Lifestyle next.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
Hey, what's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is B1 Lifestyle live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. Lady T is here, along with artiste and singer Kay Holloway in the building, and meteorologist Jasmine Lomax, just back from some country. Welcome to the show. Let me tell you right now, a mom is sparking debate after leaving a list of chores for her babysitter. The mom says her kids were already asleep when the sitter arrived, and she offered the sitter the option to chill and watch TV, or they could do the chores for extra money. A lot of people online are calling it overreach, while others call it a smart way to offer more pay for those who want it. I don't have no problem with this. The kids are asleep. Hey, you want to do that? You're not supposed to offer. Wait a minute.
But she was trying to give her more money for it. It's a little.
Yeah, we'll give you extra money if you want to. If you want to, you want to clean up the bathroom, throw an extra $20 in there.
But that's not a babysitter. Then that's a nanny, and that's a different job. Wow. People trying to hire you for something else.
Well, the kids are asleep.
And they say, oh, we give you some more. Here's a few other options.
That was an option, though. She didn't say you had to do it.
She said, but I mean, it's just a little much. Like, it's not a babysitter then. You
First of all, Lady T said nannies, but that means she rich.
It's a maid intern, all of that.
Kay, what do you think?
I mean, I think if you have opportunity to make more money, you know, it's a part of. It's just a part of, getting to the bag.
So you can tell Lady T spoiled because she don't use those options. So we get our hustle on, Lady T.
Wait a minute, I'm not spoiled.
I thought it was a good idea, and I read that in total, the babysitter took home like $28 an hour.
So who wrote the article? Who wrote the article? Who's the real complainant here? Is that what they say?
Well, Lady T, you said nanny, and you were like, oh, this is.
They said babysitter. A babysitter should not be running around cleaning your house.
Why not?
A nanny
babysitter is just a name. It's whatever you add up.
No. See, y'all be trying to get more for less.
Fine.
And I don't like it.
We want you to tell it. What do you think of the list? Vote on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. When you get to the website, make sure you click on the Lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our Fox 45 News app. At the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks. Now, if you're looking for a job, you may want to try one of these tricks. A hiring manager is sharing tips for getting your resume noticed. First, make sure it's grammatically correct. Then, once you apply for a job online, reach out to others who work at the company, introduce yourself, and let them know you've applied. When it comes to drafting a cover letter, don't forget new tech. AI can help you write a resume tailored specifically to the job, but don't let that replace the personalized human aspect to the application. A couple of these are kind of shaky. I ain't going to, if you contact me and I don't really know you, like, hey, what's up, Mark, I apply. Don't do that. And then the AI thing, it's going to have you sounding like William Shakespeare, but you really believe, you arrive at the job, you be like, I am so happy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
That's a little weird.
I mean, I think you can potentially come off as being desperate, but you just have to have a knack for intuition, and you're aggressively, but you don't want to be too aggressive.
I agree.
When applying for a job. So it can be it's a delicate balance.
And I did when I applied for this job. I did call people. I did.
I know you did.
Patrice.
I know
Brandy,
you did.
hey, what's up? It's your man.
Call my homies up.
Hey, Pete, what's going on? Hey, Lady T, you don't know me, but I just applied for this job.
Give me the job. Give me the job.
Hey, Eugene, what's the security? Hey, what's up? It's me. What do you think about the list?
I mean, it does come off as really super desperate when you got to call up to the place. No, just send an email like, hey, I applied to this. I just want to let you know. Boom, bam. And
she's the queen of emails, too. Lady T writes and she drafts a good email.
I can finagle an email,
what about you, Jazz?
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird, too. Like, why are you reaching out to me? And I don't know you.
Yeah, that's
I don't like that.
I can't help you because I don't know you. But if it's Mark Clark, I'm going to be like, okay, let me put a good word.
Well, and then AI, you got to be careful with AI because it might come in with like,
See? And they're like,
nevermore or something like that,
There are options, though, with the AI.
And you don't have to do this if you sign up for OnlyFans. Honestly, I think that's the way.
Okay, that took a turn.
I don't think anybody has to sign up.
Well, speaking of OnlyFans, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and love may be in the air. But a new study finds more older adults are getting a divorce. The number of people 55 and up who are splitting up has doubled since 1990. One sociologist says it's the women. Women are like, had enough.
That's not what that said. That's not.
Well, it says the women are starting the proceedings. Well, the women are starting the proceedings. I mean, the wives are sick of it. I get it. Like me and my wife, now we're almost empty nesters, right?
Aww.
And so we're doing stuff together, but that is also when you're looking across the table like, Yeah, that really want to be with this person? I think that's what's happening with wives.
You really got to laugh at them jokes.
Yeah,
you can't even fake laugh no more at the jokes. This is real now. This is real love.
Your thoughts, Kay?
We tend to, as women, we do tend to be very emotional. And the thing about emotions is that they're temporary.
Wow.
So we kind of got to keep that in mind.
Oh, that was deep.
I know. What's the case on this?
Got to keep that in mind
Just talk
before you file for the divorce.
Right.
Before you file
Maybe
for
it's not that
divorce. Right. You know. How am I gonna feel after I'm out of this emotion?
And do I find the husband first and then do the divorce? Because I didn't even. I was ready to file just now.
No, I know. Kay, the way she said it made me want to file. Okay, wait a minute.
I was ready.
So, but you're right. I think that is true. When now you're out there, and it's like, okay.
There's nothing out there.
And there is nothing out there.
It's different out here in these streets.
Well,
it's hard.
I mean, I agree. I think women are saying, you know, I'm not afraid to be alone in my older age, and so they're like, I'm not
I can do bad by myself if I be playing in my head. Don't let Allison hear that song anytime soon. Wait a minute, why am I holding all this together? We could just...
Right, we can just sing.
All right, we're gonna see you guys later in the show. And coming up, still ahead. Thank you so much. It can be a difficult subject, but it's an important one to talk about with Cher. I can get help caring for loved ones, okay?
Well,
also,
that was a transition.
protecting your personal information from identity thieves. Lady T, you better stop it.
Okay.
Coming up on Steals and Deals, we'll tell you about that.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
Now, identity thieves are merciless in their tactics to ruin your credit or empty a bank account. Julia Rand is here with a low-tech solution to help keep your assets and personal information safe.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
The FTC received fraud reports from 2.4 million consumers last year and over 1.1 million reports of identity theft. One way to gain information about a person is from their mail, their private documents, and other items that have your details on them, especially banking documents. Well, here's your solution, the ID Defender. It uses a unique pattern of numbers and letters. You see that right there? So when you use it, it becomes impossible to read your information, to use it to commit fraud or identity theft. The ID Defender is the best solution because you can't put pill bottles in a shredder, and using Sharpies to cross out your info doesn't guarantee it can't be read. You can still see it in the light. Now, this is so easy to use and has over 1,600 uses. Fraud, especially credit card fraud rates, continue to climb each year, and the median loss has risen to $650, meaning Americans lose much, much more. So protect yourself with the ID Defender. Right now, we're offering 48% off, get that, on a 3-pack of ID Defender. That's 3 for less than $25. I want you to head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Sunlight Home Health Solutions.
Finding the right home health care providers for your loved ones is an important choice that can determine the future of their lives and yours. Denisha Berthe, CEO and founder of Sunlight Home Health Solutions, joins us now to discuss the services they offer. Denisha, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
Great. You look amazing as always.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us, what do you want people to think of when they think about your business?
When they think of Sunlight, I want them to think of our slogan, commitment, compassion, and care.
I love it.
Thank
That's perfect.
you.
That's perfect. And you know, I actually have some background in home health care. I was a caregiver for my family, so I understand how important it is.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what made you decide to open up a healthcare agency?
I've been a therapist for about 20 years, and I noticed the mental health decline in the aging community and the lack of empathy from the medical care professionals, and I just really wanted to make a difference.
And what's your mission?
My mission is to overall provide client-centered services that are affordable in the comfort of my clients' homes.
And so, you know, can you talk to us about what you have coming up? Because I know you have some big things coming up.
I do. So I'm actually going to be in the Women Who Move Maryland edition of the Baltimore Magazine.
Oh,
and
cool.
I'm also going to be at the Be More Healthy Expo. That's on February the 10th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And I want you to give us more about your company, because like you said, when people think of your company, you want them to think of this, but flesh that out for me, you know, because I know it's so important when you trust a company like yours, you want it to be a certain way. Tell us about why yours is so special.
Well, we provide a personalized level to care. So even from our hiring process, the way we pair our caregivers with our clients, we go based off personality, the client's wants and needs. We want to make it a great overall experience. And we also want the caregivers and the clients to enjoy, you know, their interactions with each other.
That is so important, you know, and you know, that people trust you.
Yes.
And so as our viewers watch this, where can they go for more information?
You can find us online at sunlightathomes.com.
Oh, continued success, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Coming up, a local singer talks about Black History Month and the powerful Black artists that have influenced her in her career. But first, honoring those we've lost. Coming up, how you can remember your loved ones after they're gone.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Shimunek Funeral Homes.
There are many ways to honor your deceased relatives, and it's important to have funeral arrangements that are right for you and your loved ones. With us today is John Evans, General Manager of Shimunek Funeral Home. John, you joined us a few weeks ago, and you're here today to talk about Shimunek Funeral Home's cremation memorialization. Why is it important for people to understand that?
Well, cremation memorialization is just a manner that we're going to celebrate someone's life when cremation is chosen rather than a burial. Cremation is not the event. The event is that time of gathering, and it's important to have for people to get together.
I love it. And so what should people have in mind when planning this?
Really, they just need to know that their choices are limitless. There can be a traditional type of service, or it can be more of a gathering with food and drink.
You know, I chose cremation for my mother, John. Now, you know, most people probably assume cremation service must be held after the cremation occurs. Is that true?
No, not necessarily. As I was saying, some people choose to have the cremation after a traditional service where there might be a viewing, a service either at our funeral home or their place of worship. And then rather going to the cemetery, we would take the deceased to our company-owned off-site crematory. In other cases, people want to do the cremation first and then follow it up with a gathering. But it's important that they have that gathering because we need that time to bring people together, to share, family and friends, to laugh and cry and tell stories.
I know people, you know, take an urn home after cremation, but it's also possible to purchase the cemetery space for the urn, right?
Correct. Yes. Our Dignity Memorial cemeteries have offerings such as ground burial, upright niches, columbariums, benches where the ashes can be placed. It's important to have a permanent placement, I think. Everyone is well-intentioned when they take the urn home, but time marches on and we have our own life circumstances, and those ashes become the responsibility of someone else.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Sadly, I really do.
Yes.
So for those who are interested in the possibility to pre-plan for cremation, just like funerals and traditional burials, can they do that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Contact us at one of our locations at Perry Hall at 410-256-3600 or in Bel Air, 638-5360. And one of our team that helps families in advance will help them with all these decisions. We plan everything in life. The birth of a child, graduations, retirement. Why wouldn't we plan for this?
John, thanks for making this very challenging conversation very comfortable. Thanks again, okay?
Thank you, Mark.
We are heading to the Crescent City, or the Big Easy, New Orleans, taking a look at this beautiful sunrise coming in this morning. Just stunning to see the nice weather there, the higher temperatures. But for us, we're actually looking at a warming trend over the next few days. So if you do have the time to get outside through Friday, you'll enjoy the weather. It's after that when the next weather maker moves in, and that will bring rain to the state. Currently, temperatures already above average for this time of year over Baltimore. We're seeing 49 with plenty of sunshine. Winds are light out of the east-northeast. Around the state, we're seeing the 40s, mostly plenty of sunshine, nice and quiet around our region. This afternoon, our highs top off around 51, and that's followed by that rising trend. Mid-50s tomorrow, and then highs right around 60 degrees on Friday. We'll have even higher 60s as we head into Saturday, but that's when the dry pattern ends and we welcome in some rain. Notice on the future scan, we stay dry and quiet this afternoon. Then into the day tomorrow, expect a sunny start. We'll keep the blue skies throughout the afternoon and mostly clear overnight and into Friday. Later on, clouds will start to move in. Still, we stay dry on Friday, but it's Saturday when that next weather maker brings showers to the region. We're talking spotty showers, not a washout for the day if you will be heading out and about. Otherwise, we start to dry out. We're looking at rain staying to our south on Sunday. The clouds linger, though, for the morning. By the afternoon, those clouds start to clear. However, another weather maker follows bringing more rain on Monday and the potential for a few flurries farther to our west. It's looking like mostly rain across the Baltimore area, but of course, make sure to follow along for the latest updates. Rain chances will be up and down throughout the weekend and into next week. So if you have any plans to be outside, you may want the umbrellas on Saturday and also for early next week. 51 for the high this afternoon, then 54 tomorrow. We're looking at 60 on Friday. After that, 64 on Saturday. Looks good for the Be More Healthy Expo, just a few showers. 60 on Sunday, then after that, a cooling trend with temperatures in the 50s, eventually dropping down to the 40s. Back to you.
And Kay Holloway is not only an amazing singer, but a multi-talented performance artist and one of my favorite people. She joins us today on Be More Lifestyle. So Kay, you know, I'm still like feeling, I saw you perform live just the other night, and you give it up if it's 5 or if it's 500. What made you decide to be that kind of artist?
So that's not necessarily a decision, Mark. It's just, I don't know any other way to be. I wish I had a more elongated, answer for that. But as an artist, if you're a true artist, you put everything on the table. You can't help whether you're a painter, a comedian, you put it all on the table. So I don't really know how else to be but true to that.
I love it. And I know you're a true artist, and you struggled with deciding if I want to stick with this thing and not stick with this thing. What made you decide to be an artist, and what makes you make the decision to say, yeah, I'm going to stick with this thing through the ups and the downs?
So I first decided that I wanted to sing when I watched Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, the music video. And she was just so beautiful, Mark. Like, she was so beautiful. Imagine being 5 years old and just looking at the epitome of beauty. And then when she opened her mouth, she was just this goddess. And I just always remembered watching her sitting in the middle of nowhere with snow mountains surrounding her. And I'm like, I want to be like that. I want the wind blowing through my hair, and and I wanna exude that confidence and that talent. So, what made me stick with it was just the genuine love for it, because it's not easy. It's not easy putting yourself out there and performing. So.
I know. So I know you've been influenced by so many different people. It is Black History Month. We don't have a lot of time. Can you just give us a little bit and share with our audience a little bit of your talent? Okay. A little acapella, acapella.
Acapella. Okay. All right.
I can't be a beatbox, but
you put me on the spot. Okay. Let me do this.
Okay.
Let me tell you a story. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Maybe the grandest you'll ever hear.
Nice.
I'm black on FOX45.
Wait a minute.
News with my brother Mark Clark. Be More Lifestyle, y'all. Thank you so much.
All right, we got it. Okay, we record that. We gotta use that. We're gonna use that, okay? Kay Holloway, thank you so much.
Appreciate
you so
Mark.
much, sister. Thanks so much, okay?